Hello and welcome along to Adobe After Effects with your host Robert Smith. In this part 2 of creating some text in Cinema 4D for use in After Effects, we've done a bit of animation with some text, so let's have a look at that. I'm going to just rewind and play it. As you can see, we've animated a camera around the scene like this just to bring the type into focus a bit better. Okay, I'll stop that and go back to the start. You'll notice up here we've got a camera, we've got an extrude nib and some text. That's what's happening in the scene at the moment. Okay, what I want to do now is add some lights to it. Now, lights are a never-ending story and much more complicated than they are in After Effects. But having said that, you can work at a simple level. So let's just do that, have a basic introduction to how to light a scene. So right now the scene's looking like that. If I Command R to preview it, and I'll just click anywhere to get out of preview mode, I'm going to add a light. Now the first light I'm going to add is this one here, the top left hand corner. Now to explain all these lights takes a lot more. We're just going to use this light to start with. And what it does, it puts a light right here in the middle, in the origin if you like. So to get this scene a little bit better lit, I'm just going to drag that like that along the y-axis. And what I'm looking at over here is basically the shadow. Now the front's still very, very dark. We'll fix that in a minute. So I quite like the look of that shadow just by moving that along the y-axis like that. Now when we have a light, if I click on the light, you see you have lots and lots of properties. Now the ones we work with most are the coordinates and the general one like this. In the general one, I'm just going to drop the opacity, the intensity here down to about, just a little bit, about 80% is good. Like this, I can always drag this thing along here, do the same thing. Okay, let's preview that. Command R. Okay, the shadow's looking good. Now let's work on the front. To do that, I'm going to add another light. I'm going to add if I click and hold that down, I'm going to add a spotlight. Now spotlights are much the same as they are in After Effects. They work nearly the same. So I'm just going to grab this blue thing and just drag the spotlight towards this. So now it's pointing at the text. Like that. Now I want to make that spotlight a better colour than white. So over here, I'm on the general tag. I've got the light selected up here. If I click here like that, I'm going to go to a darkish orange, about that colour is good, and OK. Now you can see the spotlight is a dark orange, and the intensity, I'll just drop that back a little bit, back to about 90%, like this. OK, as you can see, these are your properties that you adjust, much the same as you do in After Effects. OK, let's do some animation on that light. So the first thing I like to do, when I'm doing any animation, make sure I'm back at the start like this. I've got the light selected like this, and I don't have any of these selected here. If you have this selected, it's quite dangerous because what it'll do, it'll give you automatic keyframes. Now there's a time and a place for that, so let's just deselect that. I want to first of all move my light into position. So to do that, I'm going to use the coordinates over here. As you can see, you've got general, then coordinates, and I've got the X position here like this. I'm just going to move it just by dragging that number down like this. So just the E and the bit of the N is being affected by the spotlight. And then I'm going to put my first keyframe by clicking just here, a manual keyframe. Then I'm going to move along to about say frame 30 like that. Take my current time indicator to there. Then I'm going to grab this number over here and drag it the opposite way like this. I'm just dragging it up. That's the X over here like that. And you'll notice that the spotlight's travelling along the actual word Enmore. Now don't forget to put a keyframe in, so I'm just going to click there to put a keyframe in. Let's have a look at that. If I rewind and play it, as you can see, as it animates towards me, the orange light just goes along the word, which is a great look. Okay, I'm just going to stop that. Come back to this keyframe here. Okay, great. So I'm going to go to about 60 like this, frame 60. Then I'm going to move the X again, move it back to where it was, just by dragging down like that. And I'm going to put another keyframe there as well, like that. Then I'm going to move along a little bit to about here. And this time I'm actually going to open up the size of that just by grabbing the next number, the SX over here like that. I'm just going to drag that up. So now the whole word is illuminated like that, just making the light a lot bigger. You can't really see it off the stage there. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Okay, now of course I've forgotten to do the main thing you do, which is put in a keyframe. So I'm just going to move it along to about here, like that. Make sure the light's selected. I'm on my coordinates here, and I'm just going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to drag that number up like this. Now, if you're used to automatic keyframing in After Effects, it's quite hard to get used to this putting in manual keyframes. But if I click now and put in a keyframe at that point, okay. So I'm going to go back to the start. Let's have a look at that. Okay, fantastic. That's what we want. As you can see now, there's just two simple lights that have been applied inside Cinema 4D. Let's have a look at that in After Effects. I'm going to save that. Command S and Command Tab back to After Effects. And let's watch this in action, the magic. So if I go in there, I'm going to click a RAM preview. As you can see, the lights travelling along, the spotlight's travelling along the word. And it gives you quite a dramatic effect on the text. And then it all opens up into the orange light. Okay, for better or for worse in terms of design style. That's a great little use of integrating After Effects and Cinema 4D text like that. Okay, thanks for watching.